Hey everyone, welcome back to Mosh Shinobi with me, the Mosh Shinobi, Mosh Shinobi Gaz. Joining me today is Oskar from Scold'S Bridle from Sweden, our mix of heavy metal and doom and other genres as well. Really good stuff. How's it going this evening, man?
Yeah, all good, thank you. How are
Good.
you?
Not too bad, as you just saw off there. Still
Yeah,
coughing, but we're
yeah,
getting there, slowly improving. Um, One thing I noticed when I was listening through to the album straight away, as I mentioned in that intro, is there's a nice range within the music. You've got like traditional heavy metal with a bit of what sounds like the Dio era of Black Sabbath coming through. And then I'm reminded of some other, excuse me, the cough again, of some
yeah.
other,
No worries.
great doom bands. Uh, and with the collaborations, which we'll obviously talk about as we get to those songs, they bring in another element as well. So I know the band was formed in 2019. Was this the music that you've always loved and just naturally wanted to play?
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah,
Mm,
definitely. I mean, I for as long as I can remember, it's been hard rock, heavy metal,
yeah,
all within that genre. And then, yeah, as you know, it's millions of sub genres within that. But I mean, it's always been hard rock, heavy metal, and definitely, I mean, when I got into Black Sabbath, that was kind of the now I know this is what I like, this is what I want to do. But I'm still within the hard rock heavy metal genre, I'm still pretty open minded. But
yeah.
as long as, but I'm not looking much outside of that big
Do,
circle, but outside of that, no.
do you like that, Oscar? That some people might, automatically put the doom tag on this, which I hear others will be, no, this is traditional heavy metal. Do you like that fact that you are drawing from this range, that it can be anything that you want it to be, that you're not limited?
No, exactly. That was,
Mm,
I can't say that it was a plan, but
yeah,
I guess as long as the longer I work with it, and I mean, I look at one song and that's that one song that I work on, and then let's see where it ends up with, and that can be anything. But and I guess every band say that they don't want to put themselves in a specific genre, but
yeah,
I'm happy with any one of them. I would
yeah,
I love doom, so I would happily be called a doom band. and
yeah,
but uh, but yeah, I try to keep it. I mean, open minded. In terms of, I mean, it doesn't have to sound exactly the same throughout, because that was also, I guess, an idea when I did it, that I didn't want everything to sound more or less the same.
mm,
So I want some variation there, and I guess that came pretty naturally. And then, well, okay, I worked with the song. This one I liked. Okay, that didn't sound like the other one too much, but hey, still, a good song is a good song. That was kind of the idea.
exactly. Either grabs you or it doesn't. It's as simple as that as well. And cliche phrase, but it's true, I guess. All music is subjective. It is.
Exactly.
We've all got our own likes. Somebody can, I listen to a song by you, and then somebody else will have a completely different interpretation to what I'm hearing. This is evident on these shows that I do with bands when I'm nerding away and saying, "Oh, what pops into my imagination." Probably upset some of them, but anyway.
Yeah, yeah, no, but but that's the nice thing about music as well. I mean, that
Mm,
you hear the same thing, but obviously you're hearing two complete
yeah,
different things, or even more. So yeah,
yeah, it's
it's
that.
nice.
Yeah, it is, and it's that personal relationship and experience that we have with that music. It's all different. The different music for different moods as well, different genres. So, right, this is going to fit my mood for this or whatever. That's the good thing about it. Before I go any further, I do have to comment because I can see the two guitars in the background there, one with the UK flag on as well. Those look very nice, man, I must say.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that was my first guitar ever, actually,
Whoa.
and I wished it for my birthday, and I mean, it was all about the looks, huh? and
Yeah.
and I thought it was cool, all with all the British bands. That's
Yeah.
basically, I mean, with all Black Sabbath, and
Yeah.
well, even down to Deep Purple, and even Def Leppard was, I guess, a
Yeah.
kind of inspiration for that one, at least, because
Yeah.
it was.
Well,
So, but unfortunately, I don't play too much on it at the moment, because, or not at all, really. But it looks nice on the wall.
looks
so
nice, though, doesn't it?
Let's keep it there, huh? And,
yeah, that's what I'm always saying to people about vinyl. You know how vinyl's become really popular, and you have now there's collectors where they'll buy 2 copies of vinyl. They'll have one to put on the wall as like an art piece, framed,
Exactly.
and then the other one they'll listen to, and they'll often get sometimes the 2 different editions with the different colors. You know, one for that, and I think that's amazing how popular that's become again for that reason. The only thing is, it's super expensive to produce. And if you want to build up a collection as well, getting hold of those vinyls, especially when they're on limited runs, because that can be expensive in itself. So, but I feel it's a real passion for everyone involved in it.
Definitely. I'm happy that we can really see that vinyl is coming back again. I mean, into the business, and that new records are also printed as vinyl. I really like that, because I'm still a kind of guy. I mean, I need to have something in my hand. That's something that's different than just. Love streaming. It's perfect, but to have something in your hand, that's definitely something else.
It goes with the personal experience. I mean, this has come up on a lot of shows where people have debated like digital now streaming compared to vinyl, and the majority of bands have said that they feel. Excuse me, folks. I'm still recovering from the flu, so there's the disclaimer. Everyone will be getting bored of me saying this in every episode. So one moment, yeah. I think I'll just have to sit here one time with a huge bottle of whiskey with a straw, just taking sips. That'll work.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel as a lot of bands have brought this up, as I said, digital versus vinyl, and the majority of them that have been on the show have said they still feel the metal and hard rock community are very passionate. They're happy to have the full albums, to have the physical releases as well, compared to other genres that are definitely now just more for 1 or 2 tracks. I have had some guests say, no, we favour more digital, or we think the fan base is going there. But on the whole, I'd say 90% are saying no, the fans in this community are still passionate to have a full album, to buy vinyl, to have something physical, the CDs. I know myself, when I used to do my radio shows, and bands used to send me CDs, and I'd put sometimes a little note in, sign the CD. There was something special about that. Like, oh man, this band has sent me this from this part of the world. Look, they signed it, they put a note in. It's just, it just gives you a good memory as well, different experience, and then seeing it there. Just so you're not always glued to a screen either, whether it's your smartphone, tablet, or whatever. So
exactly. I totally agree, and the visual part of it as well, because on streaming sites, you basically only see the front cover, but there's so much more to it. It's a back in the booklet and everything. I totally agree on that.
Yeah, and I think with Mel as well. I often would guess. I always start with the artwork. I'll look at the artwork. And the reason is because the artwork is often, there's a theme there, it matches the tone of the album, or they've got someone in especially to do that cover, something like that. So that's why I don't skip it. So when it's for the same reason, I think why vinyl has got popular, because it's given bands an extension to have that artwork showcased. They'll often do a different style of artwork or expand upon it. And I think that's something quite special to see. Say, look, here is if you like, the artist's visual interpretation of our music, the whole feel of it, what it's about, something quite magical. So turn the attention to your own music. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten.
No. It's.
So we mentioned artwork. We'll actually, we'll start with the cover of your own for the self-titled album. It's a Scold'S Bridle there from the 16th century, a charming device. So was that did you choose that just as, I'm guessing it sounds, just to literally match the name of the band, and you see it there, it's direct?
Exactly, because I mean, first of all, I was struggling a lot to find a band name. I guess everybody does that, and I mean, actually, some of the songs that you hear on the album is I started because I had an idea that as we mentioned before, I talked about Black Sabbath. I really wanted a song Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath on Black Sabbath. I think that is so metal it can be. So I really had an idea of doing that. So the song Black Inferno, for instance, that was a song I wrote it as an idea of calling the band Black Inferno. And the same with it's actually called Bloodbath of Heaven on the album, but originally it was called Angel Riot, which was also an idea for a band name I had, but it didn't really feel right at the end. And then I just, out of coincidence, I was watching some comedy episode. I think it was Big Bang Theory or something, and they just mentioned Scold'S Bridle, and I was like, okay, this sounds cool, and it's, I guess, pretty Iron Maiden-ish with the whole concept behind it. And then it's stuck, and I tried it out a little bit. Unfortunately, I didn't write a song called Scold'S Bridle, so that's all fell apart from that side. But the name stuck, and based on that, when I decided, I will go for this now. Then it made for me quite a lot of sense to, first make a logo of a actual Scold'S Bridle, and then just put it on the album cover.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple, which can be, well, it's good and bad, I guess. But at least for the first debut album here, I thought let's keep it simple. Put just put the logo there also to make a first introduction. It makes people hopefully remember the name and get the visual in their head, so they, easy to recognize, and not to complicate it too much. To start with, and then for the coming albums, I definitely want to make more, should I say, complicated or more detailed artworks, because I like that a lot. But for this one, I thought it was just keep it simple, and I still think it. You get an idea what type of music it is and what you can expect. At least that's what's the goal and what I wanted to tell with this artwork.
Yeah, instantly. Because if you, excuse me, if we look at the cover, like you said, look, it's simple, it's direct, but just that device on the front automatically screams. I'm going to think one of three things. I'm going to think traditional heavy metal, or possibly doom, or even power metal. I know they can have the fantasy with power metal, but I've seen covers like that as well. So and sometimes it's best to do that, as you said, even for a debut, just something that's going to stick in people's minds, remember the image, remember the name. I think that's one of the hardest things when forming a band, is to think of a name, because you have to check, is this name already taken? Or is it safe to use? Then having the right kind of name to fit the music, not, as you said, something that people are going to remember, not kind of like a novel length title, which some people do, and it's just God, I can't even pronounce that. Never mind.
No, exactly. And I
So,
tried out so many, and I had so many ideas, and then the first thing I did was check on Spotify, and 90% of the ideas I had was already taken. And then for me, even a lot of bands can have the same name, but it's still, I wanted at least to be a little bit unique. If you search for it, then it should be my band who shows up, and not 5 different bands with the same name. So
I had recently, as you gathered, and thank you for that awesome promo that you did for me for Fed Up when we were forming the other week.
No worries.
I had the noble intention with Fed Up, with memorable name, open to absolutely everything. The pitfall of that was, then I started to get submissions from so far removed what Fed Up was about, and I knew this is not going to flow with look, there's other genres that sometimes appear, but I thought it needs to keep some kind of metal, punk, hardcore base. So, and I'm planning martial arts coverage. Already had a guest on yesterday that does like a ninja tabletop game. So I thought, well, Mosh Shinobi, simple name again for the reasons you were mentioning, goes with what I'm doing. That's what we'll have to do. So that was the reason. So your opening song, Angel Maker, very classic heavy metal title. Got those vibes in the song as well. It says that the song is about Hilda Nilsson during the 19th century. This is a charming story. Against payment, she took care of children born illegitimate. However, instead of taking care of the children, she eventually killed them, which she got the nickname Angel Maker. In the press release, it says, you mentioned the song was written as an album opener, a slower intro building up to the main riff. And I'm guessing you wanted with that song to give people an idea of what the tone of the album, an introduction to the music, what it's going to be about. Obviously, dark theme within the lyrics, so very like classic heavy metal kind of, again, getting to that Black Sabbath feel as well. So I'm just wondered, was that a story, from history that you'd come across and thought, right, that would make for a good opener for the album?
Yeah, at least, I mean, the story. I watched some documentaries about her because it's a true story about this Hilda in Sweden. And I thought I didn't think instantly that would be a good album opener, but I definitely thought, okay, this is something I can and want to write a song about. And then when I started, I got the main riff pretty quickly, but then I mean, for the pre-chorus, that's basically also the intro, but slowed down. So because then it all made more and more sense that it should be in the opener of the album, like you're mentioning, because I mean it's kind of direct introduction to what you will get from the rest of the album, even if it's like we discussed, it's pretty different genres and it sounds a little bit different song from song.
Yeah.
But in general, I would say this is a good representative for what Scold'S Bridle are and what the rest of the album will sound like. And like you said, I mean the story itself, it's pretty straightforward, or what I can say.
Yeah.
But it all fits well together, and then, like I say, I mean, I like it when a song builds up, and that and especially as an album opener, just a punch in the face.
Yeah.
From the start, it's not really my kind of thing. It can work as well, but I mean, to have a little bit atmospheric kind of intro, to then just boom and wall of sound and all, and all the rest. I like that. So that's why I mean, it was basically as soon as I finished the song, I knew that was going to be the opener.
Yeah, it helps set up the atmosphere. Builds that mood as well for what's coming, and then, as you said, smash and then hit them with the music. I mean, a great title for a song as well, obviously from something that actually happened. The next one, this really did make me think of Iron Maiden, the title, because obviously, Fear in the Dark, Echo in the Dark. So
yeah, you're right. That I haven't even thought about that. That's true, because I can say it's not this one. I can't. It's not inspired by Iron Maiden, but now when you say it, it's maybe it was, but
it's not a bad thing, man. Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, but this is an interesting story as well, and the lyrics were co-written with Johan Renkse. It says, "Echo in the Dark." It's about a guy who's stuck inside a prison or a cage. He realizes he's never going to get out of it, and the song follows his thoughts through the process. And it says, it's been rewritten, rearranged several times. It's probably the most processed song on the album. And you released the music video for this one as well. There's another interesting metaphor I thought with the song, because if we just read that information there in the press release, we're not going to think of somebody in a prison or possibly in a dungeon somewhere and in a fantasy setting or something, or in the past. But also it could be psychological as well, with somebody's mental state trapped in that prison, realizing when they've got to a really bad point. And you've got a song actually that kind of touches on this subject later, where they feel like they're trapped in this kind of reality at the moment. So that was just another kind of interpretation that I got from the song as well when I was listening to it. So was this inspired by anything you'd read or watched, or?
That's a very good question. I can't really say anything specific, because it's more.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's because basically when I wrote this song, I got basically the title ready at the early stage. I mean, Echo in the Dark. I thought that was a pretty cool. Lyric line, and I wanted to build something around that. And then exactly like you said, what can this be? It can be, literally someone stuck somewhere, but like you said, also it can be mentally. It can be, it can be anything really, but with a dark theme, so to say. So I just kind of build it around the title basically, and then try to work different things out with a mix of, someone actually sitting there giving up on life or whatever, and but also with dark thoughts. And if you really listen to or check out the details in the lyrics, is also, he gets more and more accepting his destiny more and more throughout the song. And but personally, I would say this is my favorite song on the album, and that's probably why I did the music video to it as well. Because maybe I like it a lot because also I worked with it for such a long time and so many different versions, and then I brought in right. So Johan is a good friend of mine, and he also actually co-wrote the lyrics on the first song, Angel Maker, as well, and.
Nice.
And he's actually the cousin of Johan Renkse of Catatonia. Just a little fun fact there. So maybe there's something in their blood there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he will be much more involved now. We're already now working on a lot for the next album, and he will be much more involved in the songwriting there. So we're doing a lot together now. But that didn't really answer your question, but because I don't really know exactly what inspired me to it. Because for me, it's been pretty. I should not say it's easy for me to write lyrics, but as long as the hard thing for me is to find a melody, and then to find a theme. But as long as I have the theme and maybe the first row, then it kind of flows pretty easy for me. And of course then I change and go back and change some details, but when I have the main theme, the story comes pretty naturally, and then you can work on the details and change every okay, this sounds better, let's change this word, it's to sound a little bit self-occupied, but I really like that song. You should check it out.
I thought it was a good answer, and I'm getting the sense that you aside from some of the real life history themes that are on one of the songs you mentioned and some others, but you like to draw from I guess real emotions, real experiences from the real world. And often especially in heavy metal, right from extreme metal to, straight up stuff. That can, I think, sometimes give the songs more weight for that reason. Because look, this is something that we all have experienced at some point, or know somebody who has, or certainly know about it, as you said, through documentaries, things we see, people we talk to. So no, I thought that was still a good answer. And I like as well, you've in the press release you mentioned, you even go as far as saying the beats per minute for the songs, the tuning as well. So you've left nothing unturned there. Everything is really laid out and how you constructed the music.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, because that's actually something that I thought myself, that I mean, if I find a song I like, then I want to get as much information as possible about it, and then I thought, I mean, let's share as much as possible. I mean, I'm actually thinking also, I mean, to release I mean, like some official tabs to it, or something like that. It's nothing I have started working with, but I think that's, I mean, if you like a song and you want to learn it on guitar or drums or whatever, then why make it complicated for people? Just it's just cool if people want to learn your song. Then so let's see. I cannot promise that will happen, but that's definitely something that, and things like this that I have in mind, and why complicate things? And,
Well, it's very honest. It's very out there. Not a lot of people, would do that, to my knowledge. So no, that's really good, noble reasons, man. The next song, and this has dark subject matter, even just the title. I mean, most people know John Wayne Gacy. He's not someone you'd want round for a Christmas dinner, is he?
No, exactly.
So was the reason you chose to do a song about this? I mean, there's even some of like the news reporting from the case with spoken words from the guy himself. Was this just simply to do a real dark heavy metal song?
Yeah, it's, well, a little bit like, I mean, the first one, I watched some documentaries, and I mean, saw some other movies, and so and other things, I mean, that inspires you, and and obviously I mean, it's kind of cliche for a heavy metal band to write a song about a serial killer, but why don't go with the cliche? Cliches are not always bad, so especially not in heavy metal. So.
So here's my signature song from that subject.
No, exactly. So and so and then basically, I mean, the lyrics is basically a story about his life. I mean, obviously not in too much detail, but basically from the start, from when he was born until his execution. So try to cover the whole thing there in 5 minutes, but and that's also why, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool to include some, as it is obviously a true story, and I thought it was cool to include some, I mean, some real news reporting, and also, like you said, some words from him, and I think that gives a little bit more dynamic to the song as well.
Yeah, it's certainly, the music certainly matched it, the way it arranged it. As I said, very dark song. It's got the heavy riff in there as well. So it all went together. And then following on from that, Zombie. This is interesting as well. Zombie says it's about a woman who is kidnapped, and can't get out, and the man holding her is torturing her both mentally and physically. She's using pills and alcohol to keep her calm, and due to that, she feels and acts like a zombie. It's a very, very powerful themes there, lyrics again, very dark themes. And also, this is the first track that features your collaboration with Cairns. You're saying this one's a little more melodic, and you mentioned in the press release as well that this is a catchier song. So I just wondered again where you drew the idea from for the title and the song, its themes. Was it something you'd watched again or read about it, or just from experiences you maybe know about?
Yeah, no, it's basically, I mean, because all the time, I mean, everybody's keeping their phone with them all the time. So as soon as
Yeah.
I see something, read something, I just write it down. Just
Mm.
2 words. It can be, I mean, 5 words. It can be a whole sentence or whatever. Normally, it's just a few words, but I always write it down. And this one, I actually was watching a pretty bad movie about, like one of the Swedish, criminal story. Yeah, a really crappy movie, but still the story was pretty good. That it was basically just
Yeah.
about a kidnapped woman who tried to get out, and in the end, it turned out she was the bad guy and so on.
Wow.
But that wasn't really the theme here in the song. But yeah, I basically this as I watched the movie, I basically wrote the chorus. I basically finished that
Cool.
one, and so you can also tell it was not that good of a movie because I had time to.
Okay, just did a glowing
But
review.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so and then I had that, and I already had in my head and basically the melody then, and then I started to write the melody on the guitar, and then based on that it got a little bit more melodic, I would say, than maybe there. I mean, not just heavy power chords, not as Black Sabbath ish as the others are. Yeah, and then I basically with that, with the theme and so I just built around that, and it came also pretty naturally. I could say that. When I had the whole story, okay, well, it would make was pretty easy to write the rest of the lyrics, I think, and as long as I found the melody, and that's also why I choose Craig to sing on this song, because as it was a little bit higher pitch song, I guess, and a little bit more melodic, I thought it would fit his voice a little bit better than maybe Mauro's voice, who's singing on the
Did
others.
you sorry, yeah. Did you reach out to Craig, or do you know him from previous, music work?
No, I reached out to him and sent him the song and asked if he wanted to
Oh,
sing on it,
awesome.
and yeah, and he liked the song,
Awesome.
and yeah, and gave it a try, and I think it did an awesome work on it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's great stuff, man. Huh.
and
Really good. Yeah.
and that's also, I guess, can say something a little bit about.
Yeah.
That I want to have a little bit more. That I don't want everything to sound exactly the same. That's also why I brought
see.
in another singer here, and also we'll
Yeah.
come to that later. Some female
Yeah.
singer as well, to give it a little bit more dimension, dynamics, and variation, basically. So
Yeah.
okay, now you understand the thing here. Okay,
Yeah.
but hey, here's something different, just to mix things up a little bit in the album to make it more fun to listen to, I guess.
Yeah, and it helps complement the music because, as you said, it can add in a different layer on some of the songs, bring in a little bit of a different mood. As you said, so it stops then. It's just not all the same journey. There's some differences, helps the song stand out. We've got some really good collaborations on here, as we'll get into. The next one, it probably won't surprise you. When I first read the title on the first listen, man, and I saw Conjuring, well, it made me think of the Conjuring movies. Immediately, that's what popped in my head.
A great movie. So that,
underrated. I feel, man, as well. We're often saying, I often have this conversation with people, both on the show and off air, about, I guess, the quality of movies now. Because it's really is kind of up and down. But I feel like the Conjuring series is one I think is underrated and overlooked. It's one of those horror gems, I feel.
Especially for me, especially the first one is one of the best horror movies I guess
Yeah.
ever made, in my opinion. At least
Agreed.
top 5.
Agreed.
I would say.
Yeah.
I was shit scared when I saw that the first time.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's certainly got the atmosphere, the tension. It's if people are getting kind of tired of just like the the slasher horrors, I guess,
Yeah.
that kind of the Conjuring. I mean, man, it's I won't say anything else. I'm going to spoil it for folks if you've never seen
Yeah.
any of the series, but if you just watch it, you'll know what we're saying. Brings back the horror for sure.
Yeah.
But, oh, my horror's returning to my throat. One moment.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible, especially when you're doing
Yeah.
deep dives on music as well. So convenient.
Yeah.
But this is interesting because I'm gonna do a cheesy reference on the title. Conjuring was the first song that you conjured
Yeah.
written for the album. He said, but the last one to be completed, and this is this is interesting because it says it's about a wizard. So you got the fantasy element here, who fulfilled his dreams. He's found a way to eternal life. However, after some time, he realizes that eternal life can be extremely lonely and strongly regrets his choices. Man, that gives me so many visuals of a wizard in a tower by himself, surrounded by all his spell books and everything, but all of his friends, family, and people are no longer there. And maybe if he's lived that long, there's hardly anything else around. Who knows? But that's the visual it gives me of one of those kind of fantasy stories or movies where you cannot help. It makes you feel a deep sense of sadness for somebody in that situation as well. And I mean, and what a great story for a song.
Yeah, thank you. And I would say I'm very happy for everything you say, because I would say spot on. That's exactly the same thoughts I had when I wrote the song, and I mean the whole theme of the song is exactly that. I mean that. Yeah. I mean, don't wish for too much. Like you said in the chorus. I mean, it might actually come true, whatever you wish, and that even if it's the dream that was a dream can become a nightmare, and that's basically what this is. This is all about that. It can go south pretty fast, and then there's no return. Basically, that's in general what it's all about. And and it was a hard one to write, actually, because especially, I mean, I like the intro I had there with the acoustic guitar, which I thought is pretty atmospheric and pretty cool. But for me it was pretty hard to write the lyrics there and when I sent it to the singer Mal there, he really nailed it, because I thought I said to him, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, this one is a little bit confusing and crazy, but give it a try and let's see what we can do with it. And I think he really nailed it perfectly, and much better than I even expected. Had it in my head, so very happy about that.
Do you feel The Conjuring, especially with the subject matter, with the lyrics, that it has that deep emotion in the song? Because that came across to me when I was listening to it, with the vocals. I could feel,
No, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so as well. Really great one. It just made me think, this just popped in my head just before we go into the next song, and you were just saying about careful what you wish for, that dream can become a nightmare, the words you speak. There's a classic set of horror movies. They're on TV a lot here, and I think I've seen them all. And they're called Wishmaster by Wes Craven. And
okay, now I haven't seen that one.
Oh man, there's about maybe 4 or 5 of them, but I'd say the first 2 are the best. They're always on TV, and the villain is I think he's a jinn, and he's an evil genie more or less. So he grants people wishes, so they'll wish for something, but it's not the wish they expected. It is technically the wish that they desired, but it's like a really horrible twist on that. So it's quite a smart concept actually. But as with the Hellraiser movies, you know, when you get past the first so many, and now there's like 10 billion of them, and the quality just goes.
Yeah. No,
That's
exactly.
probably happens, but it's an interesting concept. Yeah, just popped in my head when you were mentioning about careful what you wish
Cool.
for.
I'll check
Essentially,
that out for sure.
yeah. And the next, sorry for, and we're back.
Yeah.
And the next song, "Not My War." Um, this is a really powerful and relevant song for obvious reasons. Sadly, even more so since this was
Yeah.
written. It can be related to, you know, any conflicts, past and present. Um, but what I did find interesting as well is it says, you know, not my war. The verses basically describes a life and world during a war. However, the inspiration and purpose came along with, you know, what's happening at the moment in Ukraine. And sadly, as we're seeing in other parts of the world, particularly the Middle East, it's
Yeah.
makes the song even more relevant. But you also state that even if the message of the song is a bit hidden, it's actually about people who just want to show everybody how good they are and how much they can help and care about other people. But all they really do is change a profile picture on social media. And that struck a chord with me for some personal reasons. When I used to do my radio shows, I released various benefit compilations for things that had happened around the world, you know, from Haiti, Fukushima, and Italy, anything where I thought, right, I can try and help someone. And it was a really double-edged sword. Saw the best in people, and then come across saw the absolute worst as well. Scammers, and as you said in that statement, people want to change the profile picture, and when it come to it, can you just donate $1 or £1
Yeah,
or
exactly.
€1 to help? No one wanted to do it. Barely could raise anything um, to help whatever, you know, help those causes. And then there was the added problem of trying to find a legitimate charity to go through where that money is gonna actually go to those people and not some scammer. That was another headache. So this is why this one, as I mentioned, was something I could really relate to, because I kind of experienced something similar through what I'd done. So, so when you wrote this, was that something that you felt really strongly about? I guess like people where the wanting to look good and appear good, but aren't prepared to really do the help.
Exactly. Because it was actually me and my brother-in-law who just spoke about it just a few weeks after the war started there, and it was just like, yeah, you see all people changing their profile pictures on mainly on Facebook, and just put a little Ukrainian flag there just to show I have a big heart. I really care about people, and I'm the best person in the world. But then it stops there, and then I mean, for me, why even show off that? I mean, or how can I put it? If it's fine that you can show support to Ukraine if you want to, but I mean, do you have to? I mean, tell everybody about it, and do you really do something? In 99% of the cases, unfortunately, I would say no.
Mm,
They're not doing anything. They're just showing that to say, I'm supporting this. Okay, that doesn't help. Then fuck all. Sorry for words, but either you do something, and then yeah, maybe you just leave it like that, and
yeah,
don't have to show the world. Even if you donated $1 million, maybe just keep that to yourself. I
yeah,
mean, that was a little bit the inspiration behind it, because I got a little bit pissed off with it actually, that people
yeah,
just I mean, put the money where your mouth is, I guess you say.
yeah,
It's not just just for show, and
yeah,
that was definitely the inspiration. So, and that's why I mean, the verse and the chorus is a little bit not necessarily fit together like you said, because the chorus really explains that. Yeah, I feel sorry for you, but I don't really give a crap because now I've done my thing.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, the verse is more about the people who is actually, I mean, in the bad situation and who really needs the help and try to explain. I obviously myself have never really experienced war, but I mean, how you could
Mm.
imagine it to be and all the horror around it, and yeah, no, it was, yeah, it really upset me when it's just for show and not really want to do any proper good, just to show other people on social media that you are good, but in the end
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like as I said, it was one I could relate to. Is why I stopped doing the benefit compilations after a while, because there was not just that the headache of dealing with all the scammers and trying to find someone legitimate to go through. Um, was it just we just couldn't seem to raise anything, and what hurt was sometimes, I'm not going to name anyone specific, but this was when I was I mean, I still love the music, but this was in the punk hardcore scene at the time, and I thought, this is supposed to be where people are supposed to be a little bit more aware of these kind of areas, it's a lot of the themes in the music, etc. When it come down to it, and I thought, now I would get asked, "Oh, are you going to do another benefit comp to help you?" And I'm like, "Well, no, because the all the stress of trying to get everything then mastered, all the artwork, etc. No one wants to donate even €1
No, no, exactly.
to help, or even some water, for example, which is always good. I
Yeah.
thought it's pointless. It's going to do those people no good whatsoever. So yeah, that was one I could relate to for sure. So the next one, Liquid Love. This is interesting. The demo was the intro to Liquid Love was the first on the demo for Echo in the Dark. And you said, however, it did not fit that song, but you kept the riff and you wanted to use it somewhere, and that eventually turned into Liquid Love. So the song's pretty dynamic. It changes a lot in tempo and style, and you think you state that it's probably the most complex song of the album. And this is another one where you feature a collaboration, features the female vocalist Martina Questa, which gives it more of a dynamic range and flexibility. She's got a very nice voice as well. So would you just tell us the story, behind that, with the intro was originally on the demo, and how you collaborated with Martina?
Yeah, no, for sure. Because yeah, I had that pretty slow intro, and yeah, that I had first for the demo for Echo in the Dark. Because the idea for that song, Echo in the Dark, was it to be like, I mean, like one of these long Candlemass type of songs with a long slow intro, then faster, then super slow again, and faster again, to be like a 7-8 minute song.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get it to fit in, and didn't really get the lyrics to it, and yeah, so I shortened it down basically, and mainly, I mean, Echo in the Dark, to mainly work around the main riff, which I thought was pretty cool. So I took out this intro, but I still thought it was cool, so I wanted to use it for another song, and then I started working on this one, on Liquid Love, where I basically took that intro and worked from that instead of the other way around, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But still wanted it to be, because just to have, just a slow riff, for me, it's pretty boring in the long run. So I still wanted it to be a little bit faster. So I have some fast parts as well. But then again, a little bit, the Unforgiven-ish with Metallica song there, where it's a fast verse, but a slower acoustic
the moped,
chorus. So I had a little bit the ideas around that, and based on that, then I also, I mean, thought to give it a little bit more depth in it, to include a female vocalist as well, to give it so the chorus would stand out a little bit more than just, otherwise it would just be down in tempo again and maybe back to the intro. So I thought, that would at least make, how can I say, people understand now it's the chorus. And then I was looking for some singers to do that, and then I found her and reached out to her to ask if she could do this very small part of the song, you could say, or a short part of the song, but still a very important part. And she was also thought it was a cool song, and she was into it, and I think it turned out really cool, and that the two voices of her voice and Mauro's voice, I think, fits also very good together with a raspy male song and a very, how can I say, clean and clean female voice. I think that gives it a very cool dynamic that worked good for this song.
It's a good title as well. It's a catchy one, Liquid Love. That's one that you'll certainly remember as well. So I'm just wondering, curious, what inspired the title of the song?
Because it's basically about, also when you struggle in life and you basically give up and you try to fit into the society and so on, but basically it's about not necessarily alcoholism, but that it's easy to turn to the bottle when you're sad, and that will actually help. And then you can relax, and all the problems goes away. So that's basically what it's about. It's not necessarily a song that tells you that alcohol is bad. It's more about it can be a good relief sometimes to have a drink. It's a little bit both, because it's also, not how can I say, it's not about that you should drink when you're sad, but it's also you can do it and it's fine.
Why someone could do, and it's not certain to go on, become an alcoholic or anything. So
exactly.
It's saying the reasons why. The next one, man, this could be a death metal title. This one.
It's funny you say that. It's because actually the riff, when it was meant to be kind of like a death metal riff, but I wasn't good enough at guitar at that point. So I had to slow it down. And then, so I slowed it down, and still the theme I guess kind of had stuck in my head, and like I said, it was originally called Angel Riot, that I at some point had an idea to call the band, but then changed it. And because Angel Maker, I didn't want to change that title because it was on the first song, because it was so obvious. Because this one is more, it had more flexibility to, in the chorus. So that's why I changed the name to Bloodbath of Heaven instead of Angel Riot. So because I didn't want two angel songs on the album.
And then people might get confused, and
exactly.
Maybe I'll ask you about this when we've got through these songs. Maybe on the next release, you could maybe sneak in a Death Doom track then, so it's slowed down
exactly,
because
because I improved quite a lot on guitar as well. So on the next album, I can tell you already, it will be some much more faster songs in general, also slower songs. So it's
nice mix.
Doom and more Doom and more thrash, I would say.
Nice.
But let's see for the next one. But that's how it seems right now, at least. So
I'm curious already, excited about that, man. So the next one, where we're both located, I feel this title is something we know so well. Eternal Night. It's like, it's just, oh man. Yeah, folks, especially this time of year as well.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, but the good thing is, just before I even get to mentioning, what you state about what the song is about, just that title, one, it's memorable, classic heavy metal title that could be straight up horror, first comes to mind. But what's interesting is the song delves into psychological horror about a person with very dark thoughts who's basically giving up on life, and the lyrics are based on the thoughts of that person, how he or she gets deeper into the darkness. And it's the Eternal Night is definitely the doom song of the album, with slow but heavy drums and guitar. So with that concept, and when you were playing the music, I'd imagine, did you have those thoughts in mind of how that person is feeling, and did that influence you playing the music to have that slow heaviness, the mood there, very dark? Just wondered.
Yeah, no, definitely. And well, it's actually, I could say, a mix, because it's kind of influenced even by some black metal here with the, I mean,
Right.
the Mayhem, Life Eternal, and all the
Yeah.
story behind that, which
Yeah.
you could very much relate to what the lyrics is all about here, a suicidal person. And
Yeah.
so that's a little bit, a bit of a inspiration there when it comes to the lyrics. But then musically, I mean, it's more all Black Sabbath, Candlemass, very doom. I mean, slow, but slow can get boring, because that's why a lot of doom bands, I think, is pretty boring, because they don't really find the, the sweet spot between slow, fast, and heavy,
Mix it up a
which I
bit.
think
Yeah.
like Black Sabbath and Candlemass is really doing. So yeah, I mean, the lyrics is like I said, really influenced by well, suicidal thoughts and really dark places, as you're mentioning,
Yeah.
and then that goes pretty good with, I mean, a slow, heavy doom riff. So yeah, I guess, I mean, I wrote the riff first and then the lyrics afterwards. But it, I mean, that's when you listen to doom, you get dark thoughts, I guess, but in a good way still, if you
Yeah.
understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So, and I'm really into doom, as you probably can hear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it. So I really wanted. I mean, every Scold'S Bridle album should include at least one really cliche kind of doom song. It should be a really slow, heavy one. It should always. That's my plan for now, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. I'm I'm trying to think of there was a band I was thinking of, it reminded me of a bit. I'm trying to wonder, I think I'm wondering if the Swedish, I think they are the Order of Israel. I think they're Swedish doom band.
Yeah, possibly. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't.
So, oh well, they're from
Yeah,
somewhere in the world.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I was saying. But yeah, they have that like on this song, they kind of have that feel, that intermission of changing the moods, the rhythm with the guitars as well, as you say, so it's not boring. Um, so coming up to the next track, this follows the theme of Eternal Night, at least in the title, especially this time of year.
yeah,
Something else we
definitely.
can relate to: Blizzard. Hey,
Yeah,
what you want at Christmas, apparently. Um,
yeah,
this is this is the second performance featuring Craig Cairns, another melodic song. It says the theme of the song is about false people who try to hide behind a good facade, but in reality, underneath that, they're actually selfish, very mean, and the main character is not fooled by those kind of people and can see straight through it. Now, this is a concept that I think many people can relate to, because it's part of the human existence, sadly. We always come across those kinds of people as well. Sometimes not so easy to spot, or somebody else can spot them far easier than you, whatever. So, did you write the lyrics and choose to use this theme based on pretty much what I've just said, things you've experienced, things you may have known other people go through, or how these kind of people who are sadly around in the world?
No, exactly. Now, definitely, this is, I mean, well, a mix, I guess, of both personal experience, which I think everybody has from, I mean, big or small, but everybody has some kind of experience of this, I'm sure of, and so that's definitely experience from my own life. That was the inspiration for this song, definitely, and yeah, and then built a song around that, and yeah, no, yeah, and that I mean, it also that I mean, life it can feel like you're really in a blizzard, and it's hard to navigate, but still you can find your way out there, and just try and avoid these kind of people
Yeah, yeah,
as much as you can, which is not so easy, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, totally. Not always so easy, and certainly something I think everybody has experienced for sure. Um, and another one, as I said, with Craig Cairns. So, was he happy to do this one again with you? Well, obviously, he must have been happy, or he wouldn't be on the
Yeah.
song. So I've just
No,
realised
exactly.
that. Yeah,
No, exactly. So
yeah,
and yeah, and this was the second one I recorded with him. So Summer we did first, and then this one is, I guess you could say, some way similar, or at least in the context of the album, it's
yeah,
a little bit more similar with a little bit more melodic guitars, and
yeah,
so that's why I also turned to him again as it was a little bit more melodic, and yeah, thought it was a more high pitch type of song. So
yeah,
I thought it would fit him, and yeah, he agreed, and I think it also turned out.
yeah.
I think that was the right decision. A right
Yeah.
decision.
So coming to the two last songs now, and then I'll ask you a bit about the next release and some of the feedback to the debut as well. But just before that, Black Inferno. This is interesting. It says it's one of the heaviest songs of the album. Double bass drum driving the tempo, varying the guitar technique as well, and the melody. The lyrics and the story of the song says are pretty simple. It's about a man literally standing at the gates of hell and what he sees in front of him and what he'll become. Could be some good metaphors there as well. So this is it's another dark song. So I'm just curious, the title and the themes and lyric where you drew that inspiration from, and then how you played the music to match that feeling, so that it comes across to the listener, that darkness of someone literally facing those gates.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, exactly. Because I mean, yeah, like I said in the beginning, Black Inferno was actually like also a possible band name, but
Yeah.
I didn't think it was feeling too well. But the inspiration, I guess, actually comes from because I'm also a big football fan, following my Swedish team, AIK, which is actually the other guitar you see there, my home built.
Oh, nice. Yeah, now I see at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically, I mean, one of these. I mean, with the whole supporter and the big, what do you call it in English? I mean, choreographies and so on, and pyrotechnics. And as my team is black, it was basically these black smoke kind of pyro that they were using, or that we were using, I guess I could say.
Yeah.
So that was basically, and I mean, you can see really nice, visual photos of this and videos. So that was kind of the inspiration. That, I mean, you're really meeting because Black Inferno is a little bit contradictory, I guess you could say. But but that was really what I was thinking about, because it's, I mean, something so massive you can see it's burning, but it's still all dark.
Yeah.
It's completely black.
Yeah.
So it started with that. I mean, basically the title, and just to have that as I have in the chorus, just repeating Black Inferno, Black Inferno.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the step to there to just, again, pretty cliche, but I mean, a song about hell, and when you're standing at the gates of hell, like the first words of the song, it came pretty naturally when I had the idea and the concept behind it, and then just built it around that, basically.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I like this song pretty much as well because I'm actually, I mean, a drummer originally. That's the main instrument for me, I would say. And I've built a lot of songs around the drums rather than guitar, like maybe a lot of other metal bands possibly do. And this one, I like the drums here. It's, I mean, double bass and a lot of tom fills and so on. So I'm really happy about it, how it turned out, especially in terms of the drums.
Yeah. When you mentioned that you're a big football fan, and I can see the on the bottom of the guitar there, the logo. You've already I'm starting to think of football references. So when there's a part in the press release when you're stating it's about somebody facing those gates of hell, I thought, well, to put a football interpretation of it, it could be about facing the hell of
another
relegation.
Season.
Exactly. Season. Think, oh God, where are we going to finish? Or just missing out on the playoffs. So we're going to be relegated, or maybe we won't get knocked out in the first round of the Champions League or something like that.
Yeah, I wish I could have that problem, but definitely that's a good one. Good. I can't say that I thought of it exactly like that when I wrote it, but maybe I did.
Yes.
So
your fans are awesome out there, though, when they've got the huge megaphones and they're getting everybody chanting and all the pyrotechnics.
Exactly.
Like choruses, man. You can see it in the hockey as well. So the closing track, Haunted, a very nice title, and it says it differs from the rest of the songs on the album in terms of style and tempo. And you state that was one of the reasons you chose it as an album closer, which is interesting. It says the song is mainly driven by bass and drums, and the lyrics are about a house and a woman who haunts it. There's a typical ghost story of a man who invested everything in his house, but will regret living there for the rest of his life when he finds out, well, that he's got an unforeseen and unplanned housemate with him. So this is one. It's an interesting title, interesting theme. So again, Oskar, could you just tell us what inspired the name of the song, the themes, and how you match the music and what to go with those ideas?
Yeah, it's all. I mean, this is definitely my inspired by that I also like horror movies. A lot. So it's basically, I would say the inspiration is basically from Conjuring, the movie, as well as the Woman in Black. I would say a mixture of those two.
Yeah.
And then actually, without sounding too self-occupied, I actually wrote a book as well a few years back, a novel, which was basically with the same theme, where, I mean, family investing everything in a small place out in the middle of nowhere, and then they find out it's something else happening there, and so it was basically, well, I can't say my own book was an inspiration, but I guess I stole the inspirations that I got to write that book again.
Write
a song about it. So now, but it's all about my that I'm a fan of horror stories, horror movies, and built the full story on that.
Yeah.
And and what I'm also happy about this song was also with the drums, that it's a very groovy, a lot of basically a lot only toms basically. Okay, a little bit of
Mm.
snare, but basically the whole song is built up on the a riff of toms basically.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's why I think it stands out a little bit and from the other songs, because it's not so riff based and riff oriented. But I thought it was a cool closer. It's a fairly long song as well, which I think it's nice to put at the end of an album if you have long songs,
yeah,
or longer than the others. That's just a personal
yeah.
thing for me. And yeah, it's it's all about the nice things about horror movies and
Yeah, yeah.
horror
But
stories.
no, but it makes for, like you said, for a good story, something like that. Because you get the sense already in your mind of how that person would feel in that house, and it can be built up with the tension, like something moves, an object moves, and then maybe you're walking past the bathroom one night, you see a presence, you're thinking, oh no, it's my mind playing tricks on me. I know I'm describing like every horror movie ever here,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
but it grabs hold of you, because then you're thinking, right, what's going to happen next? Um, and that's a good basis for a song as well. And hey, man, you wrote the novel; it's yours, so you want to draw on that for
Yeah.
inspirations. Nothing wrong with that, man. It's
Fair enough.
it's not a bad thing. Um, but it's a good close as well, and a good story. So, just before we talk about the next release that you're working on, I know this your debut album, self-titled, Scold'S Bridle, came out in September. Have you had some good feedback? Has there been any songs that people have particularly enjoyed?
Yeah, because we arranged a release party on the day of its release, the 15th of September, which was really, really nice and got some really
Yeah.
good feedback already then. And so that was a really nice start to it. And then it continued to, I mean, the streamings on especially Spotify is going pretty good. I mean, it's not growing super fast, I shouldn't lie, but still it's
It's not bad though.
keep
Yeah.
growing there. And it's mainly two or three songs who stands out, which it would be Echo in the Dark is the most popular song at the moment, John Wayne Gacy, and then the next one would probably be Zombie. I would say those are the top three songs
Mm,
that's really has stand out for, and also what the feedback
yeah.
I got from people. So
Excellent.
so that's nice, and I'm really happy about it. And I mean, the CDs has it's worked okay. I released it recently on vinyl as well, actually.
Oh,
So spent quite some money there. So I hope people will start
yeah,
buying it soon. But
yeah,
it looks pretty cool and or
yeah,
really cool. And I'm super happy about it. But the sales there have not really started too well, to be honest
yeah.
with you. But the streams are coming there. Hopefully, some people have forgot to buy some Christmas gifts now, so they might
Yeah.
have it.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully,
So,
word gets out, get some airplay on some of the stations out there as well, which will help drive
exactly.
the music. And we were chatting about vinyl at the start of the show, and for those out there that are really interested in collecting vinyl for the artwork and having that piece, well, it's an investment, and vinyl certainly is not cheap to make at all. It's super expensive, so if you want a different experience and have that artwork in your hand, then definitely get a vinyl copy of the album. So, excuse me, I'm half a cough break again. Oh man. Um,
uh,
so you mentioned you earlier that you were already working on the next release. So just a couple of quick fire questions before I let you go. Um, this album you're already drawn from different elements within music and musicians and singers. So is that something that you are going to continue with the next release, incorporating those different styles of music and collaborating with people again to keep that different feel to the album? I know you mentioned there's a lot of like there's going to be some thrash and death doom on
Yeah,
this next
exactly.
one.
I'm not sure about collaborations too much.
Mm.
At the moment, I've been more keep working with Mauro, the main singer, also from the first album. Let's see. I can't.
Yeah.
It's not definitely not 100% decided yet.
Yeah.
And I would love to get some more people on there, but the idea for the moment is to basically stay with him as the main singer. But let's see. It's definitely nothing that's 100% decided. But yeah, but we worked so much together now, so we know each other so well, so it's so easy to work with each other. So the workflow is very fast, and it's so it's good cooperation there. So that doesn't say that I will not involve anyone else there, but for the moment, for the songs we've written so far, it's mainly with him.
Yeah, it's the biggest quality in anything. If you've got somebody that are good to work with, you've got that good rapport and chemistry, well, that's worth keeping. And I'm sure you got. I'm just stating what you already know here. I'm sure it will depend on once those songs are ready and then they're thinking, well, can I add something extra? Will this person bring something in here, or is it fine as it is? So yeah, that's interesting stuff. I do look forward to hearing that because, as you said, with those other elements you're bringing in. It's going to sound quite different to this release, so it's caught my attention already, I shall say.
So nice, thank you.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah, no, but and like I said and mentioned, it will be, we maybe have like, well, I have a lot of songs ready, but I would say around 10 songs already that it's been recorded, and then we'll see. I will probably record a few more songs and then try to choose maybe between 8 to maximum 12. I think maybe it will be a little bit fewer songs on the next one, and try to, put the quality, to just top songs, all of them. Of course, we try to do that all the time, but try to keep it a little bit shorter album with a little bit fewer songs. But then, and like I said, it will be some really doomy stuff there, slow, heavy, and a lot of mixture in tempo as well. And then we already have some songs that are much faster with more thrashy type of sound, and also a mix of them with where we try and mix doom and thrash.
Interesting.
So we're constantly working on new songs, and like I said, Johan, my friend there, who we worked together on 2 songs for the debut here, and he's been much more involved now with the songwriting. We basically meet up at least once a week to discuss and work on songs together. And then throughout the rest of the week we work together or separately, but then put all together at minimum once a week so far I think it will be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to put it out there. Let's see exactly when it will happen, but but something next year will definitely maybe not necessarily a full album, but some singles will definitely be released during 2024.
That's good to hear, man. You're certainly constantly moving and productive, that's for sure. And I think got me very curious just the hearing the difference with what's coming next compared to the debut at the moment, and the mix that you're planning as well. Well, already I do in mine about planning. It's great stuff. So I always like to give guests the opportunity to not just to shout out the band and their album, but anything else that they would like to before I close off the show. Yeah, I definitely need to. I think drink a whiskey for sure. So, is there anything that you would like? Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to shout out outside of the band?
No, well, I just well, first of all, check out your channel and make sure um, to stay to listen to that, because I think I've been really catching up now since I knew I was going on the show and checked it out.
Man.
It's really cool, so I definitely think people should do that. And then just keep on checking out our stuff, and I mean, follow us through our website, scoldsbridleband.com, and there is all the necessary links to all the social media and stuff. And then just that everybody should have a great Christmas, and make sure to go and see a lot of concerts, go and buy a lot of records and listen to music and just enjoy.
Definitely, man. Well, thank you very much. It's been great to talk to you. Super interesting as well. Folks, the links to Scold'S Bridle will be in the description. But just give me a little bit of time, because I do have some other shows to work on as well, and I will be back in about 30 minutes with Engulf. So it's all on as always, but no complaints. I'm going to butcher Oskar's language here, but I just want to say hej där, good night och tack så mycket for joining me, and shout out to everybody out there as well. Don't forget to subscribe, stay up with the channel, as you usually on here every day, and I shall see you all in about 30 minutes. So we're going to hit end stream where there's that delay and I look like I'm haunted, but here we go. So let's do this.